Are you looking for the best Samsung phones? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best Samsung phones on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Samsung isn't scoring any points for an exciting upgrade this year, but that doesn't mean the Galaxy S23 Ultra isn't an incredible phone. It takes everything we liked about last year's device and makes it better, or, at the very least, keeps the experience surprisingly consistent. A slightly refined design means the curved display is now flatter than ever, though. The company could just, make it flat, while the squared-off frame fits better in the palm of your hand. It's a small design change, but an appreciated one nonetheless. While S22 Ultra owners might find the look and feel pretty familiar and, ultimately, not worth an upgrade, it's still some of the best Android hardware around. And that extends to the specs. Powering the S23 series, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy chipset is impressive. Everything feels buttery smooth, from endlessly scrolling through Twitter to playing even the most demanding mobile games. And with a couple of exceptions, the chipset handles it all while keeping cool under pressure. Battery life is also exceptional. You can expect about a day and a half of runtime on a single charge. Unfortunately, charging speeds can't quite measure up. 45W isn't too slow, but you'll need a compatible PPS brake, and one isn't included in the box. Number 2. Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5. If you thought the Galaxy S23 Ultra was an incremental upgrade, the Galaxy Z Fold 5 makes it look like a revolution. While Samsung's Note replacement came packed with new camera tech and a meaningfully refreshed processor, the Z Fold 5 only makes a couple small leaps ahead of its own predecessor. The result is something that won't, or shouldn't, convince Z Fold 4 or even Z Fold 3 owners to pull the trigger on an upgrade, but could swing newcomers to finally pick up a foldable. The big difference this generation is the elimination of the gap between the two halves of Samsung's display. Although the company has ensured a small amount of space remains to protect from debris causing accidental damage, the result is a much thinner 13mm chassis. It's a difference you'll really feel in day-to-day use, especially once the phone is in your pocket. Otherwise, you won't find much more than iterative, by-the-numbers changes here. The overall design remains the same, as does the ultra-tall 6.2-inch outer screen that may push you to actually unfold the phone to get real work done. Number 3. Samsung Galaxy A23 5G. For $300, the Samsung Galaxy A23 is a meaningful upgrade from Samsung's more entry-level smartphones like the ultra-affordable Galaxy A03s. Compared to that much less expensive phone, the A23 boasts a Snapdragon 695 chipset, whereas the A03s has a budget MediaTek CPU, plus the A23 has an additional gigabyte of RAM for 4 GB total. This smartphone also has double the built-in storage at 64 GB, and its screen, a 120Hz, 1080p LCD panel, is excellent for the price. Plus, it has a 5000 mAh battery to keep it going all day. It's also guaranteed security patches for 4 years from its initial US release. That's well into 2026. The Galaxy A23's cameras aren't anything special, though, despite the primary sensor's 50MP resolution. The better-equipped and newer Samsung Galaxy A54 has also seen sale prices as low as $375, occasionally complicating the A23's value proposition. Still, if you cannot get a higher-end phone at a steep discount, the A23 is a great way to spend $300, especially if your carrier is offering any appealing incentives. Number 4. Samsung Galaxy S23. These days, there's no such thing as a truly small flagship. The last one we had was the Galaxy S10e, RIP, you tiny angel, but the Galaxy S23 is as close to one as you can get today. Featuring the same Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, admittedly with slightly less RAM, a screen that's just as bright but more reasonably sized, and new camera design, this 6.1-inch phone is sensible and reliable. While its big brothers might steal the spotlight, the Galaxy S23 is just as powerful and packs 95% of the same features, costing hundreds less than the S23 Plus and Ultra. It's also free with trade-in at all 3 major carriers, which is how I got my lovely little lavender S23. After years of preferring smaller phones, you get used to needing to top off your battery early, but I regularly get over 8 hours of screen time on my Galaxy S23, though that may be slightly skewed by my tendency to use my phone on lower brightness. The cameras here are virtually identical to last year's Galaxy S22. While that means they're still pretty decent for photography during daylight hours or well-lit interior shots, it can still struggle a bit in lower light. Samsung's well-known photo processing can leave photos feeling oversaturated or overbrightened, but it'll still be fine in most instances. Hopefully, the Galaxy S24 gets an upgrade to its main and zoom cameras. Number 5. Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5. The Galaxy Z Flip 5J is Samsung's more affordable foldable phone, though you'd never call it cheap. Unlike the Fold 5, it has had a bit of an overhaul this year, with an all-new external display that fills most of the phone's front side, and is now large enough to offer a keyboard and even run a limited selection of full Android apps. That means that in addition to the old widget and selfie options, you can send text messages, watch videos, or navigate with Google Maps, all without ever opening the phone. The Flip 5's hamburger-style folding screen means it's more or less a normal phone when it's open and an eminently pocketable little square when it's closed. It also benefits from similar hinge upgrades to the Fold 5, closing flat for a thinner and more durable device.